All right. There's this big game going on this week. I don't know if you heard about it. It's the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, and the number's 2 at BetMGM. Bills are the favorite. It's been split pretty much all week between the Bills and the Chiefs. Total 46. I wasn't expecting the news that we got yesterday. And I was curious, would there be any movement? Would any book suggest a half point? They've been moving half point here or there all week anyways. Not a big move. But once we got word that Harrison Butker is not going to be part of this game, that he was placed on IR, I was like, oh, is that something? How many close Chiefs games have we seen won on the leg of Butker? And right now, over the last couple of weeks, we're in a state where we're seeing so many teams have kicking issues, including last night. It didn't impact them in the win-loss column, but Eagles fans are worried about Jake Elliott. And these are good kickers, too. Good kickers, just not what they once were. Talk about 0 for 2 coup as well. A lot of guys didn't do anything to the line. Did nothing. We're still 2.5. Total of 46, and we spent a ton of time talking about teasers. Kansas City +8, +8.5. We're still there. And, tell us, Sam, any other looks, anything that you're looking at with this game that we have not discussed?
For those wondering, the kicker is Spencer Schrader. He is going to be the kicker taking over. They just signed him off the Jets practice squad. So if you do need a kicker at the last minute, Spencer Schrader will be that guy. You know what's crazy, though? I understand the, lack of confidence in Schrader when you do have Butker. But in some weird way, if Andy Reid can sniff that out, the Chiefs just become a go for it on 4 down type team. So, You know what I mean? Like, okay, so Schrader misses the first kick. Andy Reid's going to cut him on the spot, and they will play without a kicker. So that, you have to consider that as well, that now on 4th and 3, 4th and 4, he just sends Mahomes out there and says, go for it, get us the first down. So that could swing the game. That could also swing the total. I don't like the Chiefs as much in a close game without Butker, obviously, but that's why we're teasing them through 3, 6, 7, and 8. That's why we've talked about it all week. You can still get a 2.5 out there on Kansas City. So tease it up. You know the stat. You've heard it a million times this week. Patrick Mahomes as a dog is 12-1-1 against the spread. He took over in September of 2018. They've been dogs 14 times and have not covered, have lost 1 time because there was a push. 12-1-1. That is 92% as a dog. I'm not going to step in front of that. I don't want to. The other thing, and I wrote about this for Fox, I wrote about this game. You have some serious issues for Buffalo's offense. It doesn't look like Dalton Kincaid is playing. Keon Coleman is banged up and has been banged up.
He's out. He's out.
Oh, he's out. Okay. All right. So he's out.
Yep.
And the Bills have been more than ever before. Because if you remember the way the Bills are built, they were throwing the ball a lot with Ken Dorsey, who they fired last year, midpoint of the season, give or take. They bring in Joe Brady, and they've run the ball a lot. They have turned into a run-first team. Chiefs are great against the run. So it's like, okay, Allen's down 2 weapons. And now they have to run the ball into the teeth of a very good run defense. Oh, and then Mahomes and Reed and Kelsey are on the other side. It seems so obvious, but it's been obvious for 14 games, and they've covered in 12 of the 14. I still want more points, and I'm going to knock it up through 7 and through 8. What's the mood in Buffalo? You go on Thursday. I'm going on today on WGR with Shope and the Bulldog. What was their pulse yesterday?
I think they feel good, but they know that they can't feel too good, right? Like they're looking at this number and they're like, okay, they think we're slightly the better team on a neutral field, but they're never going to have a ton of confidence because it's Mahomes. Like they see 9-0, they see that they shouldn't be 9-0, that a loss or two is coming, but is it going to happen this week? And we know how much it means to Buffalo Like Josh Allen's at his press conference, and they're asking him, of course, how much more this game means, all that kind of stuff. He's like, it's a week 11. It's a week 11 game. That's what it is. It's like, come on, dude. We know that you guys are obsessed with beating this team. Everybody knows. And this injury report, as you mentioned, is huge, huge. Keon Coleman, they've already declared him as out. He's not been practicing all week. Now, Amari Cooper got in a limited practice yesterday. So there's some good news. Some good news there. Dalton Kincaid did not practice. It is not looking good for him. I think that is the most important one. Of all three, Kincaid, Coleman, Cooper, the most important one is Kincaid to me, because that's how you attack the Chiefs. You go to the tight end. It's happened every game. How many times did we talk about that Cade Otton one? Like every single game you talk about it. And it's because they've struggled. They give up 78 receiving yards per game to the tight end position, most in the NFL. There's a pretty big margin. And then you have Kincaid, one of the better and more versatile tight ends in the game. Now, if it's not him, do you go to Knox? If he's going to get all the usage, I think that's not a bad look. We did talk about that one yesterday. Do you end up going to Knox? Maybe for me an anytime touchdown play, but as things are lining up, Sam, it looks like I would think two of those three are out. Maybe you get Cooper out there. It's going to be a lot of Shakur, and it's going to be a lot of Josh Allen using his legs. At times this year, they've dialed that back for good reason. You want him to make the entire year, and you want him to be as close to fully healthy in the playoffs once you get there. But this would be a game where you go for it. This would be a game because if the Chiefs win, we're talking about a 3-game gap between them and anybody else in the AFC for that 1 seed and the bye.
Yeah, the narrative in this game is very similar to the narrative in the Niners game. Well, the Niners want it more. That's really dumb to think that. To think that because the Bills want it more, the Chiefs are going to just let them have it, that is very, very lazy handicapping. And also, you go to the 2020s, there have been 7 meetings, and it's not a big sample size, so I don't want to say that this is absolute. But 5 of the 7 meetings have been at Arrowhead, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 of the meetings have been in Buffalo. The Chiefs won both.
Baltimore-Pittsburgh, second best game of the week after KC-Buffalo. And Sam, you see what's popping up now? Some 3.5s are back.
I know.
A few 3.5s are back. All right, we've got the Ravens, a 3 at BetMGM, but at some spots, a 3.5-point favorite at Pittsburgh. A high total for this series because of what this Baltimore offense has been doing. And I think the other part of that is what their defense has been doing. God, do they stink. Awful against the pass. EPA per pass, second worst in the NFL. We saw what the Bengals did to them last Thursday, and Russ is playing well. So you expect Russell Wilson and that Steelers offense to have a decent game, but these games are different. What are you doing with Baltimore-Pittsburgh?
I just noticed on the bottom of our screen here, if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, third most bet team, Ravens -3. That makes sense. All they have to do is win by more than 3. This is a very, very good Baltimore offense. Everybody understands that. This is a horrible Baltimore defense. They keep playing with fire and getting bailed out by the offense. I don't think that's going to be a walk in the park against a Steelers defense that is allowing 16.2 points per game. In a league littered with offense and speed and skill and talent, Tomlin's doing it with an elite defense and serviceable quarterback play. And I took 3. 3 at even money was the bet I made a couple days ago. 3 plus 100. I think this Baltimore team is very good, and they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. But they better come with the lunch pail and the hard hat, because Pittsburgh is going to bring the pain and bring the physicality and slap them right in the nose right out of the gate. And if they're not ready for that, buckle up, because Pittsburgh could easily win this game outright. At home, by the way. Pittsburgh, a home underdog again. I like the Steelers.
In the last 20 years, in Ravens-Steelers games, when the spread is 3 or higher, the underdog is 22, 4, and 3 against the spread. 85%.
Is that good?
3 or higher.
85%
Just take
good?
the dog. We're getting a field goal. You're getting 3.5. Just take the dog. It really isn't all that complicated. And people probably talk themselves into, oh, the Ravens are so scary. Look at this offense. Number 1 EPA per play. I get it. But the thing is, they have to be that to win games. They've lost 3 times. Why? Because the defense is so terrible. They have to play at this pace. They have to keep going. Lamar has to play to this level. Injury news, which was important for Thursday. Kyle Hamilton got in a limited practice. So that's big. Limited on Thursday. I would think that they're optimistic about his return. You get that extra rest since they played last Thursday as well. But these AFC North matchups, especially with Baltimore and Pittsburgh, I'm going to make a case for the dog. And I'm going to make a case for the under, especially when we get the number this high at 48.5. Man, that's 4 points higher than the look ahead, Sam. It was 44.5, and now we're sitting 48.5 on Friday morning. Chargers, a 1.5 point home favorite over Cincinnati. Total above the key of 47. We're sitting at 47.5. Bengals, another L for them against Baltimore, but the offense certainly impressive. Extra rest there. Burrow, 428. Chase, 264. And the internet was up at arms a little bit yesterday. There was a tweet that got viewed 5 million times breaking down T. Higgins when he comes out for Bengals practice in weeks when he is playing versus weeks when he is not playing. There's this little hill, right? And then when he's not playing, Chase and Higgins, they don't go up the little hill. They just keep on going down this like pathway that they've got. But when they do play, they always take this run up this little mini hill. Higgins took the run. So the internet thinks Higgins is playing this week.
Oh, I like that. I love the next level journalism, like the I-Team, the BetQL Daily team, found the video and found out that T. Higgins might play because of a video. So let me take this next level for a second. My favorite teaser, and the one that I'm going to play pretty nice, is Kansas City to Cincinnati. The good thing about this teaser is that the Chiefs play at 4:25 Eastern, and this game is at night at 8:20 Eastern. So my Chiefs plus 8.5 tied to my Bengals plus 7.5 can then be middled. If the Chiefs cover 8.5, I can keep the Bengals teaser in my pocket and then money line the Chargers at -0.25 if I want. So then I've got a 7.5 point middle on Sunday Night Football, where if the Chargers win by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you hit the nuts. Talk me out of that.
It's going to be a 1-score game. That's what you're betting on. With this Bengals defense, I could certainly see that. And with the way that the Chargers play, Harbaugh and Herbert, for the last couple of years, Herbert's been an under guy. Harbaugh, anytime he coaches, no matter where he is, you want to take the under with him. And, the Bengals side, the wrinkle there is this Bengals defense. Now, the Chargers offense is nowhere near what we saw against Baltimore or what we've seen this season. But Burrow, I think they're going to be just fine. There are some people that believe, like when you look at this Chargers defense, yes, the numbers are terrific. Number 2 in the NFL in EPA per play, number 3 EPA per pass, number 4 EPA per rush. But a lot of that is enhanced a little bit with the schedule. You're not going to be able to walk away from this game and say that, because if they have a quality performance on the defensive end, there's no excuses. Like, you're taking down Burrow and Chase the way that they're playing right now. Yeah, that would be pretty impressive. So it'd be fascinating to see if we get T. Higgins in this game. I'm thinking Bengals. It sounds like there's more sharp money on the Chargers, doesn't there?
Yeah, it hit 2 at Circa.
Yeah.
The sharpest money in the game, though, is on the over. I mean, this opened 43, now it's 48. It's moved up 5 points on the total. 5 points. That's a lot.
Move. Yeah. Bengals 7-3 to the over. Chargers 7-2 to the under this season. And then we've got, of course, Monday Night Football. Texans big favorites. 7.5 is your number. Total of 42. We don't have the final injury report since it's Monday. It won't be today. Keep an eye on the Texans side. I mean, Stingley not practicing. Will Anderson. Will Nico Collins be back? He's been practicing this week. Got to wait and find out.